Let's make these $1.41 breakfast burritos. And I do find ways we can do it a little cheaper. So we have our tortillas, we have a shredded cheese, and then we have 18 counts of eggs and 10 ounces of fresh spinach. So first we're going to crack all of our eggs into a bowl. So one way I think you could do this a little cheaper, which I realized in retrospect, is to do 12 eggs instead of 18, and then maybe supplement with a potato, like a cooked potato. Cube up a boiled potato and add that, and I think that would make it a little bit more affordable. So we're going to add salt and pepper here. And then we're going to go ahead and whip it up. And I did have some extra left over as well, which is why I also think we could go from 18 to 12 and save a few extra dollars that way. So we're going to go ahead and scramble up our eggs before cooking them with a pot. And what we're going to do is we are going to add our entire bag of spinach. So hear me out about all of this spinach. I know it looks like a lot, okay? But when we have to start cooking on a really tight budget, we tend to lean into carbs. Breads, pastas, potatoes. And I love carbs. You will not hear me complain about that. But fresh fruits and vegetables tend to fall by the wayside. So this is a really great way to add in a dark leafy green and help get in those nutrients and get in that iron. Because I promise it wilts down. And once it's all cooked down, it's not going to seem as spinach heavy as it seems right now. So as you can tell, we are cooking our eggs and spinach over medium heat. And I did use a little oil at the bottom of the pan, but if you have nonstick cookware and you let it get heated up properly, you likely don't need it. And we just want to cook everything completely thoroughly. I would rather this be a little overcooked than undercooked. Because what's going to happen is quite a bit of moisture will happen just from it being in the freezer, and it's not going to overcook the eggs. So once everything is cooked thoroughly, we're going to assemble our breakfast burritos. And you can do quite a bit, as I'm doing here. And I like to add cheese at this point. And I'm not the best burrito assembler in the world, as you can tell, but whatever. It's delicious no matter what. And so we're going to do this with all of them. So I do like to put the cheese in at this point and not while the eggs are cooking. And the reason is because when you go to reheat it, the cheese is going to melt, and everyone just likes that bite of cheesiness, which I think sometimes can disappear in eggs. So this is what I have left over, which is quite a bit of eggs. So if you have more tortillas, you could do 2 or 3 more and get 13. But I went ahead and just made this my lunch for the day. So you're going to get more left over. And then we're going to seal our burritos on a dry pan over medium heat. And this is just to keep them nice and sealed up. And if you want to use a bigger pan and do more than 2 at a time, you totally can. So here we go. These are our 10 breakfast burritos. So we're going to go ahead and put them in a freezer safe bag. And we're going to pop them into the freezer so that in the morning we can just take out as many as we need. So this is the next day, the next morning. Here are my freezer burritos. I pulled one out and put one on a plate, and I'm putting it into the microwave for 1 minute. Please excuse my not super clean microwave. Okay, so 1 minute. And then after that 1 minute, we are going to flip it. And then we're going to do another minute. And it does come out kind of hot, and the bottom will be a little moister than the top. So typically flip it, give it some time to cool. But here we go. Here is our breakfast burrito. So let's talk about cost. We actually used everything in our grocery bill. So we have our tortillas, our eggs, our spinach, and our cheese. Our grocery bill was $14.11, and it was $1.41.